Hello, wrestling fans. This is King Twan Gaming, and tonight we're going to have two preliminary matches in Pro Wrestling Superstar. And the first match is going to be between George the Animal Steel and Paul Orndorff. Now, the winner of this will enter the tournament and face the first challenger of the tournament, which will be 32. There'll be 32 wrestlers inside the tournament. These first wrestlers, what I'm going to do is have a preliminary, like a wild card. The winner of these wild card matches or preliminary matches go into the tournament against a foe. So, for instance, if George Steele won the match, is possible. It could be The Rock. It could be Andre the Giant. It could be Hulk Hogan. It could be whoever I put in the beginning of the tournament. So we're gonna have 64 wrestlers that are going to be on the outside trying to get in there, and 32 are going to make it against 32. So actually, it's going to be quite a big tournament. Yeah, 32 to 32. There'll be we'll have from 16 built up to 32 inside the tournament at the end of this. So we'll see how it works out. I'm going to put it on my spreadsheet, and I'm going to have a database keep track of the wins and losses and all that stuff. So the first batch is going to be just a regular time limit, 30. Singles match, DQ enabled, real time pin count, dramatic pause, submission drama, real time countouts. Whoever wins goes. I'm going to be the computer will be in charge of George Steele, so I put this check mark here, and we'll start the match. Ding ding. Paul Orndorff rolled on the general card. DC, that's a defensive card. I rolled a defensive card. So they're both finding their way into each other, circling each other, see what they can do here. Waldorf rolled the general card. Waldorf rolled an offensive card. I rolled an offensive card. He did defensive card. Flying knee drop. Paul Orndorff executes a flying knee drop. Orndorff scores 9 points. George Steele absorbs the punishment. So, blam! George Steele takes the punishment, but it still hurt him some. All right. Roll dice. George Steele rolled on the OC. Paul Orndorff rolled on the general card. OC offensive. George Steele executes a bite left ear. Ah! He scores 9 points. Box and brawl. Orndorff executes a box and brawl and scores 9 points. DC. George Steele executes smash left leg. Orndorff rolling the defensive card. C. Orndorff neutralizes the smash left leg but it scores 4 points. So Orndorff had the speed there, speed advantage. George Steele rolled offensive card. Rolled offensive card. I rolled defensive card. George Steele stomp left arm. He scores 10 points. He attempts to. Paul Orndorff tries to defend against stomp left arm, but is unsuccessful. Paul Orndorff scores 2 points. So it's 24 to 19. OC and DC chew the turnbuckle. He goes around and starts chewing a turnbuckle. He likes to get those turnbuckles chewed up because then he wants to take Orndorff and smash his head into the metal turnbuckle without the padding on it. Paul Orndorff attempts to defend against the chew turnbuckle, was unsuccessful. He scores 2 points. George Steele rolled offensive card. Offensive card for Paul. George Steele executes an NA. Scores, I don't know what that means, an NA. Oh, it means nothing. Should Paul Orndorff attempt to spin? Attempt to a pin. Paul Orndorff executes box and brawl. Orndorff scores 25. Opponent scores 25. Probably 8.4% to pin him. I would say no. He's not ready yet. Roll dice. George Steele rolled offensive card. And offensive card. George Steele tries to throw Orndorff out of the ring. And continue his forearms.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Orndorff's outside.
7, 8.
Oh no. He gets back into the ring at an 8 count before the 10 count. George Steele scores 12 points. Paul Orndorff. So what happened was he threw Orndorff out of the ring, but as he was doing that, he gave him continuous forearms apparently and threw him out of the ring. And then Orndorff makes it back in. Okay. Roll the dice, 8-minute mark. George Steele rolled the OC. Both Bennon rolled DC. Paul Orndorff roll on the OC, the offensive card. George executes a stranglehold and scores 8 points. Orndorff executes a flying knee drop and scores 9 points. Oh. George Steele rolled the OC. DC for Paul. Smash left leg. Orndorff attempts to defend against smash left leg, but is unsuccessful. Scores only 2 points. So George Steele, they're only separated by 4 points. Really a slugfest here. 10th minute of the match. George Steele rolls on the OC. OC on both. Executes a foreign object. Uh-oh. This could be a bite. This could be a turnbuckle. Taking the turnbuckle and taking the stuffing out and rubbing it in his eyes. They'll do stuff like that. Paul Orndorff executes a smash with a chair. Uh-oh. He scores 9 points. So he rubbed the turnbuckle stuffing in Orndorff's eyes, and then Orndorff grabs a chair from outside the ring, comes back in and smashes him on the head with it. He busts open George Steele. He's got blood now on his forehead. George Steele executes a hammerlock. Orndorff reverses the hammerlock. Orndorff executes reverse rollovers. He scores 6 points, and George absorbs the punishment. Should Paul Orndorff attempt to pin? 16.7%. We're getting better, but not quite yet. When it gets to about 30%, I might try it. We got several rounds left. We got 30 rounds left. So, roll the dice. OC. Orndorff wants to smash him with a chair again. He scores 9 points. He smashes him in the head again. And knocks George down on the ground. George is bleeding profusely from those wounds in his forehead. Roll the dice. Paul Orndorff rolls on the general card. OC. And George grabs Orndorff and starts biting on his left ear. Scores 9 points. Orndorff fights back with continuous forearms. Belting him. Blood spurting everywhere. George Steele rolled on the OC. Paul Orndorff rolled on the general card. George Steele executes a hammerlock. Gets him in, see if he can make him submit. George Steele scores 9 points. Orndorff scores 9 points. He does a flying knee drop on him. Breaks free of the hammerlock, does a flying knee drop. George Steele rolled the RC, and so did Orndorff. George Steele executes a gut thrust. Whoa.
1, 2, 3, 4.
George Steele's
5,
outside. He throws him up
6.
over the top rope. And he gets back in. Paul Orndorff scores 6 points. So it's 99-81 Paul Orndorff. George Steele on the outside. A big puddle of blood is outside the ring. George Steele rolled on the OC. Orndorff rolled on the general card. And George Steele executes a stranglehold on Orndorff. He's got him. 8 points. Orndorff executes a smash with a chair again. This time, cutting him open again, and another cut on his forehead. Scores 9 more points. George Steele is getting a bit weary, but he's still hanging in there. George executes a maniac suplex. Oh, George Steele scores 10 points. George Steele's attempting a pin. Orndorff kicks out of the pin out of 1 count. George Steele gets 8 points for the pin attempt. George Steele rolled in the OC. So did Paul. George Steele executes throw out of the ring. Here we go.
1, 2,
reverse rollovers.
3, 4,
that doesn't
5.
Orndorff's outside. He gets back inside after the 5 count. I think you only get a count of 10 if I know the rules. Roll on the general card. Paul Orndorff rolled the defensive card. Orndorff attempts to defend against a smashed left leg, but is unsuccessful. Scores 2 points. And it is 125 Orndorff to 120. What a close match. Both trying to get in the tournament. George Steele executes a gut thrust, scores 5 points. Paul Orndorff is attempting a pin. Here we go. 1, 2, 2, the 2 count. Orndorff gets 16 points for the pin attempt. It's 148 to 125. George Steele rolls on the DC. George Steele rolls on the offensive card. George executes a foreign object again. He takes more of that stuffing. No, this time we'll say he takes Orndorff and smashes him into the ring post where the turnbuckle's not there anymore because he ate all the stuffing out of it. Yeah. And now Orndorff is split open. Both men are split open. There's blood everywhere in this match. Orndorff executes reverse rollovers. Orndorff scores 6 points. It's the 22nd minute of the match. George Steele rolls OC. Paul Orndorff rolls general card. George Steele executes a stranglehold. He's strangling Orndorff. Orndorff trying to struggle, and blood is pouring all over his George Steele's arm. Paul Orndorff is attempting a pin. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, he gets kicked. George Steele kicks out of the pin after a 14 count. After a 2 count, I mean. And Orndorff executes a standing knee drop, and then after that he tries to pin him. Yeah. So roll dice. George Steele rolled on the defensive card, I should say. Orndorff on the general card. He executes reverse rollovers. George Steele attempts to defend. He does not. Scores 2 points. It's 181 to 144 now. Paul Orndorff starting to get the upper hand. 6 more minutes left of the match. Been a long one. George Steele executes a stranglehold again and he scores 8 points on Paul Orndorff. Orndorff executes box and brawl. He scores 9 points. On the DC is George. Paul Orndorff rolled in the OC.
1, 2,
throw out of the ring.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And he gets back in. A wobbly George and the Animal Steel. A wobbly Animal Steel with blood just all over his face, all over his chest. Wobbles back in the ring. George Steele rolled on the OC. Paul Orndorff on the general card. Roll on the general card. It's a DC. George Steele tries to chew the turnbuckle. So now the second turnbuckle is getting chewed up and left empty. George Steele scores 6 points. Orndorff defend against chew the turnbuckle, but is unsuccessful. George executes foreign object, and again he tries to get him. He's not able to get him his head smashed into the turnbuckle without the cushion. Orndorff neutralizes the foreign object and scores 4 points. So he pushes his arms and stops him from doing it. So he's got 203 to 160. 3 minutes left in the match. Paul Orndorff roll on the general card. George Steele executes a throw out of the ring. Uh-oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And he gets back in, staggers back in under the lower rope. Here comes Paul Orndorff again. 28th minute of the match. George Steele rolls on the OC. He rolls on the DC. George executes a chew the turnbuckle again. George scores 6 points. Paul Orndorff absorbs the punishment, and he scored 0 points. The 30th minute of the match. George Steele rolled DC. OC for Orndorff. Reverse rollovers. And we will try a pin at 58.4%. Yes. Paul Orndorff is attempting a pin. Two, three. Ding, ding, ding. And Paul Orndorff wins the match by a... by a pinfall of 3. Okay, so our last match was won by Paul Orndorff by pinfall against George Steele. The next match tonight will be Bob Backlund versus Dr. D, David Schultz. Now, Dr. D, David Schultz, and Bob Backlund have been really trashing each other, trash-talking each other in the locker room, and there was some altercations there. David Schultz said that he didn't deserve any championship he ever won before, and Bob Backlund backlashed him, said he's not really a doctor, he shouldn't be called Dr. Schultz. And it's been going on and on. They have had plenty of trash talk, and they got into some fisticuffs that got pulled apart. So now it's time to see who the better man is here. Yeah, we got problems between these two. So anyway, Bob Backlund rolled on the offensive card. I'm rolling for Dr. D, David Schultz. Bob Backlund executes a vertical shoulder block. Boom. Scores 7 points. He's unsuccessful about blocking that, and David Schultz only scores 2 points. Bob Backlund rolls on the defensive card. Schultz on the offensive card. Bob Backlund executes a monkey flip and scores 8 points. David Schultz executes a headlock, and he's grinding it in. He scores 6 points. Bob Backlund executes another monkey flip, 8 points. Schultz executes a Dixie suplex. Blam, 8 points. David Schultz rolls on the general card. Vertical shoulder block again by Bob Backlund, scoring 7 points. And rolls on the specialty. David Schultz executes what's called a slingshot smash. 10 on the card, worth 10 points. And Bob Backlund rolled on the offensive card. General card or defensive card for Schultz. Bob Backlund executes a reverse backbridge. Uh-oh. Schultz absorbs the punishment, but Backlund scores 11 points for that. Backlund has the edge of the match so far after 5 minutes. Backlund rolled on the DC, Schultz on the general card. Both men rolling defensive card. They're feeling each other out. Backlund gets a side headlock takeover on him. 8 points. Bob Backlund, he's a mat worker. He works the mat. In other words, he, like in judo, I used to take judo, and you had your upper work above the mat, and then you had when people were both down on the mat. He's an excellent wrestling wrestler. David Schultz executes a double barrel slug. Both wrestlers get 8 points on each other. Bob Backlund executes a side headlock takeover. He's twisting. He's got him down on a side headlock. Schultz gets up, picks him up with a Dixie suplex, smash him on the ground. 8 points for both of them. Bob Backlund executes a chicken wing. Uh-oh. Got his arm behind him now, and Schultz is feeling the pain.
Ah!
Bob Backlund straps in the chicken wing. Schultz does not submit. Bob Backlund rolling a defensive card. Schultz rolls DC2. Both men feeling each other out. Then Bob Backlund shoots a suplex. Excuse me, on David Schultz. Boom. And Bob Backlund is attempting a pin and gets two. David Schultz kicks out of the pin. Bob Backlund gets 7 points for the pin attempt. Bob Backlund rolled on the OC. David Schultz rolled the general card. Bob Backlund shoots a side headlock takeover again. David Schultz reverses the side headlock takeover from Bob Backlund, which surprises Bob Backlund because he doesn't have any confidence that David Schultz is a good wrestler. But Schultz is showing that he can do that. Bob Backlund shoots a hammerlock onto him. He's attempting a pin, Bob Backlund, and he pins him. David Schultz attempts to defend against the hammerlock, but is unsuccessful. And he is pinned. And after 10 minutes, the score was 90-50 Bob Backlund, but Bob Backlund had the advantage and took over and pinned him on a 3 count. And we'll be back with 2 more matches next time in our big tournament here. This should be really a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, folks. Take care. Have a good night.